Well, the 85 Bears defense was vicious. And I know we're talking about basketball, but I'm telling you, you can learn a lot from studying these guys. I want you, when you play in a pickup game, when you're on your team and you're scrimmaging, and definitely when you're in real games, to get your teammates, it's your job to get your teammates on this same page. As a matter of fact, the video I'm about to show you, I'll put the full link below. Your team should watch this video. And when you go on the floor, you know how we talk about you change energy? From offense to defense, we change rhythm. When you're on defense, I want you to play like these Bears, the 1985 Bears. Of course, there are some caveats here. This isn't football. I'm just talking about the mindset, the intensity, the killer instinct. So let's watch a little bit of this and let's get motivated. And not just motivated, let's get ideas about how we can translate what they're doing in football onto the basketball court. It's all about psychology.
Mike, man, I'm gonna kill him. Wilbur, I'm gonna get there first. Dent was saying, no, I'm getting there first. And I'm looking at these guys and I'm saying, wait, the guy is bleeding. You don't have to kill the guy. We don't care. We're going to get him. That's what we do.
If you don't know who that is, that's Mike Singletary, one of the greatest linebackers in the history of the NFL. And he was known for when he lined up at middle linebacker right before the ball was snapped. His eyes were wide open. He was seeing the whole floor. Hyper intelligent guy too, the heart of this defense. I want you to be the Mike Singletary on your basketball team. Be the heart of it. Be the eyes. Get people going and have that killer instinct. The guy's bleeding. They almost got him out of the game, but they want more. They're talking trash to the other team. I'm not saying you should talk trash, but mentally you guys got to be talking to each other and saying, I got him. He ain't scoring. Take it as disrespectful every time they score on you. I mean it, like really disrespectful. You're not going to foul. You're not going to go overboard. This isn't football. In football, you try to take the guy out of the game. But it's that mentality that, no, when we're defending our basket, that's our house at that moment. And somebody's trying to break in. And every time they score, you get upset. It's that mindset that isn't right. That's not what's supposed to happen. Your goal should be they don't score. You know, I know it's not going to happen, but that should be your goal. Every time down the floor is a new game, a new little micro game inside the macro game. And in this micro game, you got to have the mentality of this time down, they're not going to score. Imagine how much better you'd be on defense if you played that way.
They put the fear of God into every team that they played, and I think they won at least 7 or 8 games during the warm-ups.
They might as well just brought in Romans and had lions there to eat these people because it was over. You could see absolute fear in the quarterback, and rightly so.
Man, I don't know about you guys, that just pumps me up, makes me want to go play football or do something where I'm just a killer. They beat teams before the game started. Imagine if you guys, not being disrespectful, football's a little bit different beast as far as talking trash, but you guys are just, when you get on defense, it's a different mindset. You know, they're talking about warriors, gladiators. I loved it because when you watch the Chicago Bears, I was real little when this team was popular, but they felt like bears to me, like actual bears. They were talking, they were making animal noises. Start making those growls and those grunts. It awakens something primordial within you, something primal, something wild. You really have to experience that. So if you're the leader of the team, get them on that page in warm-ups. Defense is a different mindset than offense. It's almost an entirely different game. And the ability to change gears from offense to the defensive end is really the mark of a great player because it requires 2 different psychologies. It's a split personality. And you'll find if you can do this, life is also like that. There are times in life where you're the aggressor. And then there's times in life when you're more not submissive, but you let things come to you. There are other times you go and take them.
It reminded you of one of those Jacques Cousteau shows. You throw the challenge and let the sharks go into a feeding frenzy. That's what it was like because it was like one would hit you, then another one hit you.
As that season went on, it became relentless. It was everybody did it. You know, it was Mingo, it was Richard, it was Otis, it was Marshall. I can still see the lick he put on Joe Ferguson out in Detroit. I'd never seen like it. I thought he killed him.
The way they went after the quarterback is the way you're going after the other team's star player, again, without being physical. This isn't football. And the NFL today isn't a lot like this NFL here. But at any rate, listen, That's the idea. The way that quarterback's laid out is the way you want the other team to feel after they're done playing you psychologically. You want it so hard on them. And even if they end up beating you, you want them to know they had been in a war, that they had been in a battle. So this is the energy you want to have on defense. It's a controlled frenzy. I love when he said it's a feeding frenzy, because that's what you're going to try to do. Blocks and steals, cutting off the baseline, not letting them get to the hole. That's what it's all about on defense. Let me take that back. That's not what it's all about. The emotional element is one part of it. Changing the attitude when you go on defense is one part of it. The second part is to actually know the X's and O's, to have a strategy. I mean, you could take anybody out there who's out of control. I mean, you could take a great football player from the football team, put him on your defense, his energy would be great. But if he's not skillful on defense, if he doesn't know exactly how to perform on defense, he's not going to be as good. So we don't go to a max 10 on defense, because we still need to be able to think. We still need to be able to have control. We still need to be able to have some coordination. So we're at an 8.5 or a 9. You're not at a max 10. And then you have to study defense. You have to study your opponent. You have to learn what their tendencies are. So before you go into a game, you want to investigate them. You want to know everything about them. You're like a fighter. You want to study their style. What are their habits? What do they like to do? Kobe did this relentlessly. Jordan did this as well. Even Iverson studied a lot of film. You want to know what they're going to do as much as is possible before the game actually starts. So you have to go to school too on your opponents and know your own defensive schemes. It's not just enough to have this attitude. You got to have both.
Defense not only hit hard, it studied hard under defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan.
Buddy Ryan invented the 46 defense, a bold system which unleashed overwhelming numbers against quickly overrun blockers. The 46 worked because of Hall of Famer Dan Hampton, athletic 350-pound rookie defensive tackle William the Refrigerator Perry, cat quick pass rusher Richard Dent, and tough-as-nails safety Gary Fencing. But the real key to the 46 were the linebackers.
Otis Wilson was strong and incredibly athletic, a very, very good basketball player. Wilber Marshall, it's like a bullet coming at you, and he was ferocious and strong enough to take on anything that they would throw at him on the line of scrimmage. And then, of course, Mike Singletary. I mean, it was clear we were watching a Hall of Famer. This is a Hall of Famer building his career, and it was magnificent.
I like this kind of party.
Learn to like defense, that type of party. Have that type of attitude when you go on defense. You have to. If you're going to be a great player, you almost have to have that split personality. You're cool, you're calm, you're collected on offense. You're a killer. It's not that you can't be aggressive on offense, but that usually comes later in the game after you've established your rhythm. But on defense, when you get on defense, your mind clicks and something changes. You're almost, again, that split personality. On defense, you become a frenzied animal, but you're not chaotic. What you're doing is you're creating chaos for the offense. What you're doing may look chaotic, may look out of control, but you have the intelligence. You know your defensive schemes. You know your opponent inside and out. You know their tendencies, where they like to shoot. Do they shoot better going to the left or to the right? And you force them to the side they don't shoot as well from. Where do they put the ball? Do they put the ball in precarious positions? Like Jordan knew Karl Malone liked to drop the ball down to that spot when he stole it from him in Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals. He had studied film. He knew his opponent's weaknesses. On defense, this isn't where you're fair. You're looking for advantages. We always talk about if you're a gazelle in the Serengeti and you got a limp, you're going to get exploited. So on defense, you're looking for any weakness a team has and trying to exploit that. If you enjoy these videos, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and by the way, you can get the Killer Instinct program on pre-order in the link below. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.